War, and here's Wilson on Don't Starve. We're into the night now. I made a bit of a mistake just now, nearly got eaten by some stuff. But got carrots. Now you can eat them raw. If you eat them raw, they sort out your hunger. But if you cook them, I'm going to cook them, and you can see that the shortcut buttons above the carrots do tell me to press the direction buttons to cook them. Cook, 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 cook. Go across to the carrots, and then again the shortcut buttons are saying I press right on the D-pad to eat. You have a look, little green hearts. My heart's going up, my health's going up, and also so's my hunger. So I'm going to scoff all those down. Lovely. Okay, now to begin with, there is not an awful lot you can do at night, other than stay by a fire, keep it lit, and not die. If I cook those as well, these become far more important. They're a reasonable food source to begin with, but when you start farming, making farms and things like that, then you've got to plant seeds. Plant seeds to grow vegetables. So we'll go and have another explore. There's no absolute danger at the moment. And when you get further into the game, there are mobs that will spawn on a regular basis and attempt to eat your face. There are also random mobs in the environment as well. Always a good idea to make your camp by a road and by a place where there's tons of bunnies. Okay, so let's go. Now, where did we go on the map before? So we haven't been this way before. The most important thing for me to find now... Ooh, flowers. I didn't go this way. Next thing, next thing important... teeth in, Michael. Next most important thing for me to find is going to be the beefalo. Oh, good. A respawn point. These are respawns. Can't remember if we saw one in the previous episode, but if I click on that, if I die, I respawn there. Now, they're highly limited. Oh, pigmen. Hello, piggy. These guys are neutral. They're fine, and if you give them food, they will follow you around and help you out. Also, if you give them meat, they don't follow you around, but they poop out manure, which is great for making farms. So if you can't find beefalo, all you have to do is keep feeding piggies, and you'll get enough manure. Ooh, carrot, yummy. Flowers. I'll show you what we can do with flowers. I need 2 more flowers. I can show what we can do. There's a carrot and a flower. Lovely. Now, once you've got 12 flowers, you can make a garland. If I go like that, look, I've got a garland on my head. And what that does, if you have a look where my brain is at the bottom of the UI at the top, there is now a little arrow saying my sanity's going up. So during the day, having a returns your sanity. So if you do go a little bit bonkers, I think I need to put all that on. It's the turkey's been eating all me. These things eat berries. They're a nightmare. They're also very difficult to catch. See if we can get them. If you can chase them into corners while they can't run away from you, you can actually kill them. I'll try and get them cornered. Good turkey. Yeah, oh, pick them up, pick them up. Ow! Because those turkey drumsticks, oh, they're good. Another good thing, there's 2 reasons for collecting flowers as well. You can eat 1 each, and that restores just 1 health each time you use it. So they're quite good for just a quick pick-me-up if your health is a bit low. See if I can... I've got a drumstick, good. Well, that's brilliant food. You can eat them for 1 health, or you can wait for them to rot down and they become mulch. And mulch is absolutely brilliant. You need to fertilise certain things when you dig them up and plant them later on. And the mulch allows you to do that. Let's see, you can use poop as well, but manure is far more useful for making farms. And I don't think that way is going to get me what I want. Have I been up there? Yeah, I've been there. Big leap. Here I want beefalo. Beefalo are cool. Right, let's carry on around here. I'm doing alright. We've got 5 berries, we've got 5 carrots. Might maybe I made a shovel. Yep, Let's go and dig some stuff up and equip that. So what you can do with a shovel, I'm going to pop down and find some berry bushes. There are a few of them around. Do the same with sticks. Let's pick up a stick. Come on, dig and grab. There's a berry bush. Grab. So by doing this, I'll demonstrate where you can actually start kind of fortifying your position. Dig that up. Once you have a shovel, you can go up to trees you've dropped down, dig up the stump, and it gives you an extra log. So just grab a few more now, because it's beginning to get a little bit on the dark side, so I will need to think about getting back to my base in a minute. How many logs have I got? 6 logs, so that's not... Oops. Very nice. Let's dig up a few more berry bushes. In the early days, they are quite kind to you. The night time is quite short. It does get shorter. You start off generally in summer. So this is the beginning of summer, and the days are reasonably long. The dusk is reasonably long, and then the nights are short. And eventually the nights are very, very short indeed as you get more into the summer. However, when you get into winter, which is when the real challenge of survival begins. I mean, winter is a blessed nightmare in this game. Very, very challenging. Here we go. Oh, I've got a bunny. I'll just grab the bunny. So pick up the trap. You've noticed the trap is now on 88%, so it does eventually run out. But if I pop it down there, that's brilliant. Oh, mushrooms. Grab those, good to eat. Grab some more berry bushes. I'll show you what you have to do with the rabbit in a minute. I hope none of you are squeamish. The poor little bunny does get it. Later on, to help you out in the winter, you can make a pair of earmuffs. And those earmuffs are made with 2 live rabbits and a stick. Yeah, makes you shudder to think what that's all about. Another bunny up here. Ooh, come on, bunny. Ooh, come on, pick up, because it's about to get really dark. Let's drop the trap. Highlight the wood. I nearly died earlier on. Oh, it's going to get dark very soon. Lovely. Okay, and then I just add fuel. Add fuel. That should keep me going. Cool. So what can I do with the berry bushes? Well, if I highlight them and get the place button, I can plant them. Now you notice they're not looking quite as round and lovely as they normally do. That's because they need fertilising, and they need to be fertilised with either mulch, stay in the light, or with poop. Mulch is rotten food. So that's what I've got a big stack of leaves, or I'll get a big stack of leaves for. The green bar on the food, you can see here the green bar on the berries has gone down a little bit, which is mean they're beginning to rot. When they go completely, they turn into mulch, they turn into rot, which can be used to fertilise plants. Let's cook these up. Very nice. Yum, yum, yum. Now there are 3 types of mushroom in the game, and they have their advantages and disadvantages. They're best to kind of cook in a crock pot, which is something you can make later on. If I kind of demonstrate, I'll highlight this green cap. There's a blue cap, green cap and red cap. If I cook it and eat it, you will see that my sanity went up and my health went down. So if you didn't catch that, rewind the video and have a little look. When I ate that, you saw a green ring around my sanity and you saw a red ring around my health. One of them damages your health while increasing your sanity. I can't remember exactly what the other one does, but they all have their own little challenges. Go. Now what you do with the bunnies is where the vegetarians amongst us might get a little bit upset. If you notice that there is a murder option, if I murder the bunny, it squeaks, but they won't stack unless you murder them, and then I've got morsels which I can cook. Sorry. Right, let's go off. I'm going to blow up flowers. Flint. Flint's very important. Good stuff. I'm going to chop some more wood. I'm going to need a new axe in a minute. Now in the early days you're pretty safe, but later on if you chop down too many trees, a tree guardian spawns. And a tree guardian is a big old monster. They're actually, once you get used to them, not that difficult to kill. But they are a pain in the bum. But the way you pacify them, or the way you make sure they don't spawn, is for every tree that you cut down. This is a nice green message for everyone here, by the way. This is all about reusing the environment. If I dig it up, certain trees drop pine cones. And what you can do is you can plant the pine cones. So again, just as I've got my nice little patch of berries here, I can then plant a load of trees like so, which takes down my murdering trees count, so the tree guardian is less likely to spawn, and then I can dig them all up, chop them down. I don't have to keep wandering off trying to find trees. Pick some grass. Which way are we going to go now? Let's go across. Say, I want to find beefaloes. Plants. Oh. Plants. Now, one of the weird things you get later on is that you can actually catch butterflies in a net. And if you catch the butterflies in a net, you can plant them and turn them into flowers, which might seem a bit weird, but say further in the game, once you've unlocked a few more things, you can actually make a beehive. And those beehives, the bees in the beehive need flowers to be able to make honey. I'm going to take out these. Let's do a bit of combat, such as it is. Right. So you make beehive, but you need flowers for the bees, so you catch butterflies to make bees. Now, it shouldn't be too difficult, hopefully. Come on, spider dog, you're up here of them. So you can attack one, all of these mates are going to get them, but I should have enough. And then you get 3. Now, if you leave these be, they get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually you have monster spiders in them. And you see, once you've killed it, it disappears. You get monster meat, do not eat this, it will poison you, it will bring your health down. It's pretty desperate, last resort, eating monster meat. But again, later on you can trap a bird, and once you've trapped a bird, you can feed it monster meat and it poops out eggs, which can be eaten without hurting you. It's a slightly mad game. I mean, I think slightly mad is probably doing it an awful lot of service. It's totally bonkers. It's also very difficult. In the early days, there is an awful lot of running around and picking resources up, but once you begin to get some more machines, and you can build a kind of a proper base, it's a much more involving game. You can build fridges to make sure your food doesn't spoil too quickly. You can build traps, because when you're attacked by mobs, you can lead them into traps. And they can do all sorts of bits and pieces to make your life easier and more comfortable. But it is still pretty much insta-kill. You're not a fighter. You can build armour, which will give you limited protection. You can build better weapons, which will make you hit harder. But in the end, if you die, that's generally it. If you've managed to find a respawn point, that's brilliant. Otherwise, it's kind of sayonara. That's it. Permadeath. Which is very difficult. And it can be a pain in the bum. But that's part of the charm of the game. And I've never found myself despairing and feeling that I can't go back into it and enjoy it starting from scratch again. I'm just going to dig up some graves, which is, horrible, but yeah, have a look at my brain. When I dig up the grave, right, my brain went down. Ooh, what have I got? A rubber bun. I don't really need that. It's not done yet. I have to keep going, my spade's broken. Every time you dig up a grave, your sanity goes down slightly. However, some really cool stuff can be found in the graves. Where am I going? Where are you, Wilson? There it is. Some really good stuff can be found in the graves, which are going to be very helpful. So it's risk v reward, and a lot of this game is risk v reward. Going out at night, not the most sensible option, because at night all the spiders come out and start looking for you. They don't roam massively far, but they get far enough that you have to be careful. We're nearly back. Yay! Flint. Seeds. And let's see where we go. I'll make another trap and pop it over here for the bunnies. And drop. It's a good renewable resource, particularly during the the bunny go? Particularly during the winter, it's absolutely phenomenal during the winter because you can just eat rabbits all the time. And what I do is, as winter is approaching, I build chests, and I fill those chests with live rabbits who don't die. They stay there perfectly happily. I'm going to stop now because we've had our 15 minutes, I think probably more than 15 minutes. I'll carry on for a bit because it should carry on recording regardless. I might just have to do a bit of creative editing. Okay. So that is into the night time of day 4. Days typically last around about 15 minutes apiece. And that little moon up in the corner, you can see that by day 4 there's a moon. Every full moon, you will get chased by these hellhounds. The game doesn't explain why, it just happens. You'll hear them coming, you'll hear them snuffling, it gets very, very, very scary, and then suddenly you find yourself being attacked by dogs. To begin with, it's 1 or 2. As you get further into the game, you get tons of dogs, some of which are breathing fire at you, some of which are freezing you. They are not very pleasant in the slightest, to be avoided. So that's something that naturally happens as well. Okay, well, I pop my flowers there because those petals can rot down, and once they are turned into rot, I will be able to fertilise all of my berry trees here, and they will grow berries for me. This gives me some food straight away. What have I got in here? Bird trap, which I'm not bothered about at the moment until I can actually make a bird cage. There is the improved farm and the basic farm. It requires poop, so I'm going to have to go and find some poop. But there are other things to do: alchemy engine, divining rod, windorometer, which I've never had a particularly useful. Rainometer tells me when it's going to rain. Yeah. Gunpowder for blowing stuff up. Lightning rod's very important, and I will be making one of those as soon as I can, simply because when lightning strikes the ground it sets everything on fire, and I have lost an entire farm to a lightning strike where everything went up in flames and all of my hard work was done. So actually, let's do that now, and then I will finish for the day. And you see also Wilson begins to grow a magnificent beard. The beard is a blessing and a curse. The blessing is that during the winter the beard keeps him warm for longer, so he doesn't end up he doesn't end up getting too cold too soon, and cold will kill you in this game. But it does actually mean he gets mad quicker. Weirdness. Niter is used for making explosives. Not useful for now. I'll just dump it down there so it doesn't clear up my inventory. Alright, I'll stand by the science machine. I'm going to make some stone blocks. Stone blocks, or things like that down here. So you can see you can make rope, you can make planks, which I will have to make in a little while to do something else, and cut stone. I think I need 2 of those, so I'll make 1. Once I've made it once, I do not need to be near the science machine to make it anymore. I have to do the original prototype by science machine or an alchemy engine or anything like that. There we go. Now we're going to go up to here, lightning rod. I'll make the lightning rod and I'll pop it over here. Put it there. Come on. If it gets struck by lightning, it glows for a little while and provides a little bit of light, so it's nice to have it next to the farm. That's a lightning rod, so that means that within quite a large area, lightning strikes are not going to set fire to all of my lovely stuff. Which, when I was a total noob at this game, did happen, and all my lovely farms and all my berry farm and everything completely obliterated. Right, well, we'll grab a rabbit. We'll drop this back down again. Get back to the fire, and we'll call it a day. Thank you very much for watching. There will be the further adventures of Wilson as he tries not to starve. I might just skip ahead, try and find some stuff rather than you have to put up with me looking for beefalo. I might wander around kind of offline and get that sorted. But otherwise, thank you all very much for watching. And as always, happy gaming, and see you next time. Bye bye.